Hello fellow synth lovers, it's Steve here from Sci-Fi Funk, and welcome to part 4 of this Programming the Proteus 2000 tutorial series. And well, I wonder how many people have actually gone through the efforts to set up what I suggested that you should do. I did. It took me 2 sessions. It was a bit dull, but I totally believe it's worth it. So this is what we've set up here. I should set it onto Audition. You've got the blank ones, a few blank ones, and then we get into the sub waveforms. I remember on the last video I took you through some waveforms. I'm just going to give you a quick tour through here. So you may not be able to hear these quiet ones, they're just thumping the floor now. But I've got the walking bass and I changed the riff according to its type. Should be able to hear that one. A wonderful analogue type sound there. Very growly. Now these are all separate patches, note, and they've all got the same basic setup of one layer only. Okay, now we get into the bass ones. I've gone for a different riff. It already sounds very analogue. Now these are just basic sounds, don't forget, that we're going to shape. That's great, apart from unfortunately the aliasing that's on the sound. Okay, now we get to the basic waveforms, so I changed the Audition riff again. Square wave. Oh, I seem to have changed my mind halfway through here. These will be the pulse width ones, I should imagine. Oh no, that comes a bit later. 3, 5. Here we go. And then we're almost finished. And then that cheeky little brass one I've stuck on the end. So that's it. That's your, well, it's slightly less than 36 waveforms. Maybe I miscounted or I've missed a few out maybe. But the point is that I've set up a number of different patches there. And now you can copy around total patches and bits within patches. The other thing I want to mention is that after you've had a long editing session, eventually it says compressing. And you think, what the flip's happening here? And don't worry about it, it merely sorts its own memory out, and then you can continue along your merry way. Now I'm going to pan the camera across here, and I'm just going to mention the whole idea of using these buttons long term is a no-no really. This thing here will go on forever, but these things will wear out. So you really want to use this course to program the synth from the front panel to start with, so you've got a kind of hands-on feel for the synth. But I would suggest once you've gone through this course, you need to get yourself some software to edit with, much quicker, but then you'll have the ground knowledge, you see, to know what to do. So today we're going to get into our first bit of envelope shaping, and we're going to take this thing away from now just being a module that plays some limited audition, and now we're now going to turn it into an instrument that's playable. Now I've actually got a keyboard attached to this here. Perhaps I won't pick the brass one, perhaps I'll pick a different one. So that's just playing one waveform, and the default envelope we've got set up is a kind of very, I'm pressing keys on and off here, very sort of standard thing you can work with. Has a little bit of release to it, but you can play that. So I'm hoping that you would have taken care to study part 1 of this, where I cover the theory, and now I'm going to apply this theory, and I'm going to sort of unprofessionally show this card, hold this card in front of you. Now what we're going to get into today is simple ADSR envelopes, attack, decay, sustain, release. Except the Proteus doesn't have one of those. It has an AADDRR envelope. It has a 6-stage envelope. Now see where I put the crosses at the bottom? We're not going to use those. We'll just make them as quick as possible. We'll keep the values we've got actually, won't matter. Instead, look, of the ADSR at the top, which you'd see on something like a Roland SH101, the A2 relates to the A. The D1 of the Proteus relates to the D, the decay. The sustain is mimicked by the D2, the decay 2, and the release 1 is the release. So we're going to focus on those middle 4 in order to shape our sound. Again, we have this me holding a card up because I can't be bothered to move the tripod. I'm going to take you through 4 envelope types. Now these should be saying ADSR, but that's not what Proteus call them. So these are A2, D1, D2 and R1. The first one, the time from left, the movement from left to right, the image from left to right should I say, from here to here represents time elapsed. So on the first one, it will take its time to get to the decay 1, and the effect will be that the sound grows in volume and then suddenly it goes to 0. These are concepts that I want to show you here, and they can be applied to filters, etc. But these are 4 basic ideas. Of course there are many more, but this will get you going. The number 2 there, that's a kind of punk type sound. It will go quickly to the top, and then it will immediately go down to nothing like the first one. So whereas the first one will be more like a like that, the second one will be a dunk. The third one is just a basic way of playing what we've already got. It goes up to a volume, it stays there as long as you hold it. Actually, does it? Yeah, that's right. Just checking. It stays there as long as you hold it, and then it goes quickly off. So that's just a typical, very, very basic, almost piano type thing. Of course, piano's different to that, but it'll get you by for it on off. The second one, sorry, the fourth one here, goes up to its volume, and then when you let go of the key, it takes a heck of a long time to go down to 0. Again, these principles, they'll become exciting when you start applying them to filters, but let's not run before we can walk. So here we go then with type number 1. They're kind of rising up, yep, and it will stop. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to work from this Synth 378. Why not? We seem to have landed here by pure chance. So I'm going to copy this into 40. 40 should be a blank. Yeah, I may have copied something in there, but I'm not using it. So I'm going to start on 40 here. So I'm going back down to the 378, and I'm going save copy, and then I want to send it down till we hit 40 here. I'm turning the dial on the far right till we hit 40, and I'm pressing, it's flashing home enter. I'm pressing. I managed to get myself confused there, viewers. Excellent, but that's a good demo of what to avoid. So in order to copy, you want to get to the place that you want to copy into. So in this case it's 40. Then you press save copy, and then you copy from. So here I want to copy from 36. So that's okay. I press enter. The home enter is flashing. And then it tells me what I'm going to overwrite, 40 in this case, so that's okay. I press enter again, now it's copied it. So let's just now come out of here. I'm pressing master twice, probably a better way of doing it, but there you go. 40 now says Synth 378, and so does 36 that we copied from. So that's good. So the first thing we want to do is we want to rename this now. So I'm pressing enter, changing the dial so it says preset name, and now I want to add onto this, I'm going to call it envelope 1. Okay, so actually I could just call it 1, couldn't I? And then you know what I'm talking about. That'd be quicker. So there, 1. So I want to save that 40. I don't want to copy preset. I want to save it to 40. Pressing enter, done. 40 now says Synth 3781. So we now want to create that envelope, which would be a long attack and a immediate drop off. So, as a reminder, we're doing this envelope here. It's going to rise up slowly and it's going to immediately drop off, and I shall play it on the keyboard then to show you. I'm pressing the edit key and I'm twisting this now until we see amplifier. The next one says it's volume envelope. It says it's time based, and now we're going to play with the attack and the level. Okay, these are the settings that you want for this sound, and it sounds like this. So the sound grew, I pressed it, nothing happened for a short while, then it grew and then it suddenly stopped whilst I was pressing it the whole time. I didn't let go of those keys. So to achieve that, believe me, that's going to sound good when you apply filters to it. You want the attack 1 at 0, 0. That gives a start place. Then attack 2, you choose the rate, but you want it up to 100%. If I increase this to 90, so I'm going to tell you when I'm pressing the key, pressing it now. Much slower, and it suddenly dies. It might be a bit quiet. I'm going to turn it up for next time. So there you go. That's a bit too slow for demo purposes. We'll make it 50. What's that like? That's pretty quick. So this is really sensitive. We'll just try 60. That's about right for demo purposes. You don't have to wait long to hear the effect. The decay one is set at 0, 100. Doesn't really come into effect. The decay 2 immediately down to 0. The rate is the time, so the 0 is quick, the level is 0. The release I changed to 0, 0, release to 0, 0. That's envelope number 1, and that's how we did it there. A long attack, an immediate drop. Envelope number 2, I shall copy it out for envelope number 2. This will be a pulsy one. Yeah, obviously this envelope number 1, which I'm now going to save, is save to 40. That's correct. Enter saving. Yeah, that is for the type of thing that you're going to hold down and let the thing do its magic whilst you hold the key. When I started out in synthesis, those things were magical to me. They still are, but obviously these days, I don't know. As you move on as a musician, you want to play. So just sitting there holding a chord that takes 3 minutes to develop, you feel a bit of a Charlie. But everything has its place, and of course in a production it's fine. So I'm now going to I'm going to go back to the previous one, which is it's brought from 378. Let's stick with 378. Here's 378, and I'm now going to copy into 41. So I'm going to navigate to the original one, 378. It's at 36. I'm going to press save copy, and then I'm going to be careful not to overwrite my work, and I'm going to save it to 41. In fact, I'm going to save it to 42 and 43. I did actually I've been playing with this, but 42 and 43. That will get us a template then. Let's skip there. 1. Okay, so here we need to now edit the name. Oops, yes, that's fine. Send it back to the name, and we'll call this envelope number 2. Okay, I'm going to save that. 41, that's correct. I'll move it down to 41, press enter. Right, so this is the original one that's just playable, and I held the key down and let it go there. So actually I'm not going to be programming 3, am I? Because it's very similar to 3 anyway. But we're going to turn a 3 into a 2 here, and then I'm going to play some kind of poppy riff to it, and you'll hear why that's quite a good idea sometimes. It sounds like this. I'm playing that. Okay, now the point of this video, the point of this particular envelope, is for programmed arpeggios. Let me show you the envelope, and then let me tell you about the sweet spot in my opinion. Attack 1, attack 2 should both be 0, 100. There we are. The decay 1 I've set to 27, 0. So the decay 1 there is this point here, and the other two are effectively off. 0 0 and the 0 0. Now why 27? I'm playing it and I'm allowing, this is up to your ear, boost the sound a bit more. I'm playing it enough so that the thing just rings a bit. If I was to cut it down even a little bit here, let's take it down 26, let's do it one at a time here. That's not too different. You can already hear it shortening. Now it's losing some of its sound. Can you really hear that stifled now? And now not enough of the sounds coming through. So the sweet spot is somewhere from here, here to here. I'm going to go for 25 actually, now I've sweeped the range again. 25. Let's now play, let's save this. So I'm pressing save copy to 41, Synth 2. Now I'm going to audition it. Let's change that riff. So go back into edit, whack it all the way to the right and then take it back one. There you go. Well that's a decent reason why you need to pick an audition riff that doesn't play with the filter or anything. I didn't do that. That's built into the riff. So that would do unless it does something crazy. I was just about to say that would do unless it does something crazy at the end. It did something crazy at the end. That's fine. That sounds good. Well, let's trust that one. So, well, I've picked a walking bass line again, haven't I? That'll do for the time being. So, we're now going back to the amplifier volume. Here's the envelope. Now here's the decay. Now watch what happens. Different sound. It's a nice sound. We're losing it now. So you can see what I'm saying. The sweet spot is somewhere around here. Now that's probably not your taste in music. I did actually want to do a very synthy one here, so let's stick with 15. I hope you're okay with this live editing here. Let's pick a, I need a synthy one I think. Okay, this one's perfect for what I'm trying to demonstrate here. It's a continuous riff. Now you wouldn't get that on envelope number 3. It wouldn't sound the same. You need the thing to be stifled here. You need this in order for the synth to sound staccato-y. Otherwise it's going to sound on-offy. What I mean is on-offy allows the whole sound through, but here we're stifling the sound. I hope that makes sense. It's down to your ear at the end of the day. So we've achieved number 2. Number 3 you get with the default setup that we've already got. And now we'll move on to number 4 with the long release time. Right, before we do that, let me just show you number 3. I didn't actually show you this in front of the camera. Number 3 then is the original envelope, and I'm just going to remind you of this original envelope. So from the attack, 0100, 0100, 0100, 127, 100. So it just holds at maximum for as long as you play it, and then it releases quickly. Actually, we had a 3 on there for popping reasons, but it doesn't seem to be a problem on this synth so far, at least with the waveforms we're using. So the next thing we're going to do then is we're going to move to 4. And I was playing with this, and yeah, I set the release very long. That was a mistake. This envelope is as follows: 0100, 0100, 0100, 127, 100 for maximum, and then you set the release. I set it to 110. That went on for a few minutes, so it's now 70. So look, I'm going to hold down an A minor and let go. So I let go long ago, and it fades out slowly. They are the 4 concepts. Next time we're going to be applying those to filters, so we'll be doing filter sweeps, and that's when it gets fun. I hope you join me next time. Please do like this video if it's been useful for you, and I'll see you next time at sci-fi funk.com.